That's right, YugiTube. As this title suggests, in today's episode of the Blue Corner, I'm going to be going over Generation Force and what cards I think you should watch out for if you're a player of Disaster Dragon. I'm doing this with Extreme Victory, and I got a lot of positive feedback on that one. You guys really liked what I did for that, so let's do it again here. First up, the actual dragons of this set, of which there are only really three. There are three relevant dragons. The first one is Pokey Jackal, which I actually did manage to pick up from my sneak peek. When you normal summon this guy, you can add one other Pokey Jackal from your deck to your hand. So he's kind of like a gadget in the sense that he's a +1 upon normal summon. He's a floater. Unfortunately, his stats are like 1,000 points weaker than a gadget. So if you're gonna play this guy, you gotta have some follow-up play ready for that. And a couple are obvious. One is you summon this guy, you add another one to your hand, then you can remove it for Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and activate its effect to special summon something, be it a Pokey Draco if you want to immediately apply some locking with his effect, or you can special summon Primaterial Dragon and use his effect to protect your field from that opening dark hole or that top dark hole, etc., etc. Notably, since you have Pokey Dracula in your hand, you have something to use to keep Pokey Dragon on the field with his end phase effect, which is actually not too bad. So basically, Pokey Dracula allows you to remove to special summon Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon while not -1ing yourself in the process, and that's actually pretty nice, because the neg ones really do hurt when you can't gain some major advantage off of it. The other tricks you can do with Pokey Draco are, because of his really bad attack, you can play creature swap with this, and not to mention, Disaster Dragon runs a lot of low-level attack guys, such as these, which makes Creature Swap actually a now viable card in the main deck if you do a Pokey Draco-centric build. You can summon this Creature Swap, swipe their Stardust, or you can even do Summon Mass Dragon, Creature Swap, take their Scrap Dragon, smash into have Scrap Dragon run over the Mass Dragon, and then you special summon something out of your deck and go from there. And notably, he's also a target for Debris Dragon, so if you've got this in grave, you can normal summon Debris, get this guy out, immediately go into Black Rose or Exploder Dragon Wing, or say you've got this guy in your graveyard, and Totem Dragon in your graveyard, and a Debris Dragon in hand. You can go Standby Totem, summon Debris, pull out Pokey Draco, Sink for Chishula. And also, he's fire, which is somewhat helpful. I'll get to that in a bit. So yeah, that's Dragon number 1. Dragon number 2, and one that's got a lot of hype going for it, Orient Dragon. He's a secret rare. When he is special, and you've seen me do this one on Duel Network a couple times too. When he is Synchro Summon, you can select one Synchro monster on your opponent's side of the field and remove it from the game, just like that. He's an instant out to problem monsters like Stardust, Scrap Dragon, the Nordics, Xian, Colossal Fighter. Like those really annoying cards, you can get rid of with Orient Dragon, and you can summon it with using Debris Dragon to pull out Totem Dragon, or you can use it with Mass Dragon into Delta Flyer, and so on and so on. So unfortunately, his attack is a bit weak, but he's still a much better replacement for Iron Chain Dragon by far. And the last dragon of the set, who we have right here, is number 17, Leviathan Dragon. He is a rank 3 Exceed monster, so you need 2 level 3 guys to summon him, like, say, these two. And you drop him. His effect is, once per turn, you can remove an overlay unit to increase his attack by 500. The change is permanent. When he has no Exceed materials, he cannot attack directly, so he is 2,500 in his first turn, and if need be, you can make him 3,000. That 3,000 attack, and he's water, by the way, so you can summon him while you've got Pokey Draco on the field. That 3,000 attack can be pretty nice in getting over like big monsters, but more or less you're going to summon him, pump it up to 2,500 attack, and just do some stuff from there. He is a really nice card to have, because there are times where you will go, where you will have Delta Flyer and Totem Dragon on the field, but you don't want to make a Brionac, and you don't have a target for Orient Dragon. So what do? Bump Totem up to 3, Exceed Summon, drop Leviathan Dragon, activate his effect, put him up to 25. In the OCG, in this, if you say Standby Phase Totem Dragon and did the Exceed Summoning, you would detach Totem Dragon and he would go straight to the graveyard since he's not on field. But in the OCG, Sorry about that. In the OCG, yeah, he would not be removed. In the TCG, Totem Dragon gets removed from the game when you detach him. So that's a important thing to note if you try and do this stuff in, say, Tag Force 6 or World Championship 2012, so on and so on. But yeah, he's a really nice alternative to going into Brionac or Orient or Iron Chain. He's much better than Iron Chain, to be honest, because he doesn't mill. So, and yeah, he's rank 3, so he's somewhat easy to summon. And that's really it for Dragon monsters in the set. Other notable monsters in the set include Steelstorm Roach, which everyone and their mother wants. So if you pull one, congrats, although you can't really summon it with KATTOBINGU Dragon on the board. But still, if you don't really need Roach, you can always get a lot of trade bait for it. Because I will not be surprised with things like $50. So you got him. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what other Exceed monsters are really worth it. Leviathan Dragon, he's going to be in the tin, so you don't even have to worry about getting Generation Force for this guy. Legendary is Wind Up Zen Master, whatever the hell his name is. He would be the other rank 4 you probably want to run, at least until we get Gem Knight Pearl, because he's Earth, so you can in fact go Red Eyes Wyvern into KATTOBINGU Drago, and then overlay and bring out Zen Master. Pearl would be a better choice because he's a 2600 attack, but I digress. And for other noble monsters, just a quick thing to note is that in this set, heroes are going to be getting some support, and then we got Legendary Collection 2 coming out, so people are going to be start playing more and more heroes. You can expect Super Polymerization to be running around. And that being said, if you think you're going to be seeing a lot of hero duelists, my suggestion is if you pick up an Elemental Hero Nova Master from the set, hang on to it, because we got 1, 2, Black Rose Dragon, and Dread Dragon as fire-type dragon targets. And you could go in games 2 and 3, you could side in Super Poly, and when they summon a hero monster like Shining and you don't want to deal with it, gobble it up with your own Super Poly and drop Elemental Hero Nova Master on them. And you got your own hero, you got rid of their annoying monsters, like they got Stratos and Alias on the field, and you've got your fire-type monster. You don't want to deal with that Alias because its chances are it's an honest. You could summon Pokey Jackal, play a Super Poly, gobble up the Alias with this, get Nova Master, punch over Stratos, draw a card. So, yeah, Nova Master is actually something we could probably tech, if heroes become like a really big threat. And yeah, that's really it for monsters. So on to the spells, of which there's really only a few, and even then it's really limited to certain variants. First up would be Quillpin of the Guldos. This is a card that will be seeing more action in Category 5 and really Category 5 and Assault and Disaster variants. What it does is you return 2 wind monsters in your graveyard back to your deck. No, wait. You select 2 wind monsters in your graveyard and 1 card on the field. Shuffle your wind monsters into first. Shuffle both of those first 2 targets in your deck and return the other to the hand. So it's all one thing. Returning 2 monsters to your deck is not the cost. So if they negate this outright, nothing happens. But still, you return 2 wind monsters in your graveyard. So say a Fallen Stardust, KATTOBINGU Drago, Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, Jagruni Ducks. Like if you're running Category 5, this is going to be very live. You could just shuffle those Ducks and Vajrayana back to your deck, those Legionnaires back in your deck, search them out with the Dragon Ravine, and you bounce a card in the process. It is a neg 1 if you don't bounce something like a Synchro off the field, but still, it's much more useful to Category 5, Assault and Disaster, and even Dragoonies than Pot of Avarice is. Unfortunately, it got upgraded to Super Rare, so it's going to be a bit difficult to get. And the last card I want to mention is actually something that I was not expecting. They announced this just like a few days before the sneak peek, and that is Painful Return. Your opponent selects 1 monster in your graveyard during the end phase, add that to your hand. There's a couple neat tricks I can see with this being done. Since almost every dragon-type monster in the graveyard is pretty useful to have in hand, like all of these guys, well, except Totem. No, you don't really want Totem in your hand if you have no choice, but say you like open with set Mass Dragon and they run it down, and then you special something out from your you summon like Delta Flyer and you got like your Red Eyes Wyvern in your hand. You could go Painful Return. They're forced to get that to let you have that Mass Dragon back to your hand. Or say you've done your Future Fusion dump and you play Painful Return. they're probably going to put a Wyvern or whatever you dump back to your hand. You'll at least get one of those cards you dumped with Future Fusion back to your hand during the end phase. And what I see it really being going for is in variants that run Dragon Intervene. Say you open with Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon and Totem Dragon and the like, you could go Painful Return, pitch Darkness Metal Dragon to get Prime Material Dragon from your deck to the graveyard, or Quackmere Dragon from your deck to your graveyard. Then you play Painful Return. They're forced to either let you put Darkness Metal or Quackmere Dragon from your graveyard to your hand during the end phase. And during mid to late game, you could play this. Their chances are they're going to put one of your floaters or your tuners back to your hand. So I think Painful Return could be pretty unique, one or two of tech. I'm going to have to play around with this some more on Dueling Network. I'll give you guys my results when I can. And that concludes Generation Force for Disaster Dragon. All in all, it looks like to be a pretty interesting set. Photon Shockwave also looks pretty interesting. I'm wondering what kind of TCG exclusive they're going to do for that. We'll find out in November. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, take care.